Hi, welcome back to Live and Breathe Horses. So today I've got Monieko and Umo here. Let's see if Umo decides to hang around. And I want to talk about talking to horses. And it's a question that comes up very often from a training, educating point of view about using noises to get our horses to do what we want. And I think it's really something that all depends on the situation and depends on what fits for you and what you're doing. So the example, for example, with carriage driving, or having a horse do something at distance, then a noise can be a very useful cue. I think when we're actually together with our horse, whenever we can use feel rather than a sound, it's better. When you think about it, horses in nature, they don't use much sound between each other, really. I mean, maybe in a panic, stressy situation, they might neigh, when they're upset or stressed, or, there's a soft little nicker, but it's not their main way of communicating at all. So, I'm going to go get Monieko. You're not going to be in the video today, Monieko. Hey! So, you see, so I automatically talk to him. So the talking gets us into the feeling of what we want. And of course, sounds. When I worked for Miguel, he had sounds for all different things. And I mean, the sound for Spanish walk he used, which, I mean, of course, you can choose any sound and teach it to your horse. And that, he could stand quite far away and not even be seen and do it. And you would see the horse start, and they would start to respond to the sound. What most of us do is we make the sound and an action. So we think that our horse is, for example, backing up's always an easy one, And I was talking to a student the other day about this, and she said, oh no, my horse and I just do back, back, back. So, but you see what you do with your body at the same time. So it's, to be aware, I think, is the thing. And whenever we can do it with touch, it's better, because it's more natural, it's more useful on all moments. When we're really getting through touch into the feel of the horse, it's going to be more powerful, like in a stressy moment where the horse might tend not to want to listen. And it's something that would more mean to every horse. Of course, even touch and using, even just to move the head, put the head down, every horse is going to have a slight different response. But it's a much more general thing than using words or sounds which have to be taught. So an example of that, I had a Swedish lady come ride once, and we went out riding, and she was an experienced rider, and it was quite a nervous horse, but she was like, oh no, that's fine, we'll go with this. So we were out, and there was a bit of a situation, the horse got her to get upset, and she made this noise of brrr. I can't even do it, brrr. So apparently I think she was Swedish. Anyway, it doesn't matter for the point of the story. In the horse world she came from, this was what you taught horses, to slow them down and calm them. But this horse that had never heard that noise, it just actually upset him even more. So that's another reason not to use the noise. And I think when we use it, it's the tone of our voice, much more than the words, of course, that matter. I think that's the same with all animals. Although I think there is a vocabulary you can teach words. And I mean, a situation, like I always did this a lot with young horses from the ground. So you can teach with the words, walk, trot, canter, whatever you want, whatever sound, so that when you get on, it's easier for the horse to understand. But it's a transition phase, from learning from the sound to get to the feel, that you don't need the sound anymore. So I think it's good to be aware of it. I'll often have people use their voice on purpose to be more intentional what they're doing, to back up their feeling, especially if they're not sure about what they're doing. So it can be very useful. So yes, it's like everything, it all depends, and the important point is just that we're aware, you know, to do it always with awareness. And, you know, a soft word can go a long way. What do you think, Muñeco? He can get very grumpy with things, and sometimes I know with him to stop and to calm down and relax, that helps him. So, you know, it's also an indicator to ourselves where we're at. I notice that a lot when I still get nervous doing these videos, and I can hear my voice is all up there and nervous, and you know. So when you can feel where your voice is coming from and breathe and allow your body to come down and allow the sound to come more from down in your body, makes much more sense. I'm just going to bring the camera on to Umo. What's he doing over here? Hey Umo! Hey Umo! Hey! You see? So we just automatically use our voice. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just to be aware and how we can use touch along with it and instead of it, you know? And especially to be aware when people tell you things like, oh, this noise means, like this woman I was saying, she was convinced that this noise she'd learned on this course to the horse meant back up. Only if you teach them that, you know? You're never going to stand in front of the horse saying back, 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 or whatever it was. Have you got something in your ears? And they're going to learn that word, you know, that just doesn't make sense. But like I say, there is situations when it's useful. So anyway, talking to horses, thank you for listening today, and we'll look forward to see you next time. Keep tuning into the light.